Sports fans, welcome to Full Count, SportsMemo's MLB betting coverage show. We're coming to you live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be covering baseball with some of the best handicappers, analysts, columnists, and sports bettors on the planet. We're going to be giving out free picks on several games for today's card and plenty of time to you to get down on that winning information. My friends, I'm very excited about today's show. I am your host, world champion handicapper, Las Vegas's biggest daily sports bettor, Joe D'Amico. Joining me today and giving out today's winners are the First Lady of Las Vegas and Dionne D'Amico and Mr. John Ryan. Welcome, Dionne. Welcome, John.
Good afternoon.
What's going on?
Sharing a Monday with you both is a treat by itself. Dionne, John, don't tell the folks at Sports Memo or Wager Talk, but they don't even have to pay me to do this show. I do it for nothing, but let's just keep that between us. You know, they say if you find something you love to do, you never work a day in the life. Well, not only do I love what I do, I get to work with my favorite people on the planet. I love the First Lady of Las Vegas so much. I married her 22 years, and I love working with John Ryan. You know, John and I split co-hosting hats, jobs, chairs, if you will, on this show. John, and I tagged him the James Brown of the sports betting business because he works pretty darn hard. I know I'm up at 1 a.m. every morning. I'm in Vegas, so I'm on Pacific Standard Time. Dionne and I get up. You know, she comes into my room because we sleep like Lucy and Ricky separate. But no, I'm just kidding. We wake up. She makes coffee. I take a shower. She takes a shower. We start doing games. When I'm up in the morning, John is already up. Now, I know he's on the East Coast, but he burns the midnight oil, guys. You have three people in front of you that don't just do this for a living. This isn't what we do. This is who we are. Three people that walk it, talk it, live it, drive it. And I'm going to tell you, on winning days, we're twice as happy because not only are you winning and you're going to be paying us today and tomorrow and the next day because we're winning, we're twice as pissed off on losing days. You know, we win our bets. We bet these games that we put out to. We're not a general in the back going, go get them, guys, charge. We're a sergeant in the trenches with the infantry, fighting the enemy being the bookmaker, and beating him in the trenches with you. On good days, we're twice as happy. Bad days, we're twice as pissed off. You know why? Because you're upset. We don't want you to lose money because you put your trust in us, but we also lose our money too. So I want you to know, Dionne, John, and myself, we're not three generals just sitting here cozy in the back sipping tea. We're in the trenches. We're muddy. We're bloody with you because this isn't what we do. This is who we are. So we have, without any further ado, three roundtable big games we're going to be covering today. Dionne and John are going to be chiming in on their angles on these three games. Then after that, each one of us, and I'm going to chime in today on the best bet as well, each one of us will give you a best bet that has caught our eye on the baseball board. So without any further ado, the first game we're going to be covering today are the Red Sox at the Blue Jays. Currently, folks, Toronto, 130, a total of 8. Let's go right to the First Lady of Las Vegas, Dionne D'Amico. Dionne, can you give your take on this game, please?
Sure. So as many predicted before the regular season began, Toronto is a very good team. They currently are tied with New York in first place in the competitive American League East at 10-6. Today, they send Jose Berrios to the hill. This will be the right-hander's fourth start of the season. Currently, he is 1-0 with a 6.35 ERA. Despite the high ERA, the team has won all three of his starts already, and in his defense, it really was just his first start that is the reason why he has a high ERA. His second start was an improvement, and this third start, coincidentally, was a 6-inning gem against Boston on April 20th, holding the Red Sox lineup to just one earned run and earning a victory. Eovaldi has had success this season against Toronto. He held the Blue Jays to just one earned run in 4.2 innings pitched on the April 19th game, earning a victory. Once again, this season, it seems that when the Red Sox leave the confines of Fenway Park, things just don't go their way. They are just 4-5 on the road, and overall, they enter today's matchup dropping 4 of their last 5. Toronto has had their way in this division rivalry, taking 6 of the last 8 meetings, going back to July of last season. Their lineup has been more consistent for sure. The Red Sox are 3-7 the last 10 versus a team with a winning record, 9-23 the last 32 as an underdog, and 1-4 the last 5 versus the American League East. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Blue Jays.
The First Lady of Las Vegas says, take the Blue Jays, guys. You know, Dionne, it's a really good angle, some really good angles you had, and you look really cute sitting. Are you floating above the strip? Because
I am.
That's very nice. Very nice. Planet Hollywood behind you. Great analysis, Dionne. And by the way, you're still the cutest person on this show, and it's hard to beat out John and myself. Great analysis.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to go to another dapper person, and he is one of the hardest working guys in sports betting. I love him. You love him, John Ryan. John, can you give us our take on the Red Sox Blue Jays, please?
Oh, first, thanks for having me on the show as always. And Dionne, that was a great breakdown, enough to make me want to jump to the window and bet the Blue Jays. I think this might be a high-scoring game. The only thing I don't like is the location of the game. I'd rather have it being played in Boston, and I think I would really like the over. But it's not. It is in Toronto. So Berrios is an interesting pitcher. He's been, politely said, largely inconsistent maybe. He has a launch angle this year so far of 15.8, which is getting up to that zone of 17 that batters try to get. His exit velocity is very high at 94.1. Hard hit percentage, 55%. His exit weighted on base average is 443, which if you don't know what that is, you don't have to know what it is. It's just not good. And I think he's going to give up runs. Eovaldi, is a stud, but not right now. His K percentage is down to 29.2%. His walk percentage is 4.6, which is very good. But his expected weighted on base average is 379. That's better than Berrios, but still not up to his standards of previous seasons. Hard hit percentage, 52.4%. Exit velocity, 93 miles an hour. And he does keep the ball down. His launch angle is 9.2, which is better than Berrios. So you have two pitchers here, guys, with hard hit percentages above 50%, exit velocities above 90 miles an hour. I think it spells a big time over win, betting the over.
There you go. Sports fans. John Ryan, great technical analysis again, John. I mean, we've come to expect the bar is pretty high with you, and you always manage to clear it. We love it. We love your analysis. John Ryan says the over. Just to round it out, I'm going to chime in real quick. This is not a best bet play for me, but being a New Yorker, I hate everything from the state of Massachusetts. Let's face it, guys. I don't even eat cream pie or clam chowder. That's how much I hate anything from Massachusetts. They gave away the greatest non-Italian baseball player that ever lived. And let's face it, they threw all that good tea in a harbor. I agree with Ian. I agree with John, too. Great minds think alike. I like Toronto. I like over here. Just to lend a little hoot in there. Guys, we have another round table game we're going to go to. Interesting matchup, Dionne and John, as we're putting together two of the best teams in the NL. Both division leaders. Let's talk about the Mets at the Cardinals. I mean, in my opinion, this is the marquee game on the board tonight because we're going to see how good these two teams actually are. You got two of the best in the National League, two of the best overall records in baseball, two teams that certainly don't like each other, two teams that know that perhaps down the road, come the postseason, they might be squaring off. There's the first meeting this year. Dionne, if you could start, please.
I sure can. So in a game that matches up two division leaders, we see New York travel to Busch Stadium to play St. Louis. The Mets own both a top 10 scoring offense and a top 10 pitching staff. Max Scherzer, who is 3-0 with a 2.50 ERA right now, owns a career record of 4-6 with a 2.76 ERA in 13 career starts against the Cardinals. For St. Louis, Miles Mikolas gets the nod. He is currently 1-0 with a 1.76 ERA, and over his career in two appearances against the Mets, he is 1-0 with a 2.00 ERA. Despite the St. Louis lineup showing a bit of inconsistency this season, they have still won 6 of their last 9 games en route to a 9-5 overall record. Traditionally, they've always been tough at home and entered today's season opener knowing that they've taken 3 in a row and 6 of the last 8 against New York. As a matter of fact, they are 10-3 the last 13 overall meetings. When it comes to playing against the NL Central, the Mets have had their issues, dropping 7 straight versus the division. The Cardinals, on the other hand, are good against the NL East, winning 5 of the last 6, are 10-2 the last 12 during Game 1 of a series, and 22-7 the last 29 versus right-handed starters. I like St. Louis as a big dog here.
The first lady of Vegas has taken the Cardinals as a dog in this matchup. Dionne, you know what I really do like about your analyses on games? You have a little something of everything. You got really a buffet of knowledge on your analysis. You have some technical stuff, some streetwise stuff, some trends, some streaks, and a good feel for the game. And I do like your takes on games. I think that's why I married you. But I also like, and I know John and I have discussed this. John and I are big supporters of anybody that works hard in this business, and I wanted you to know that John and I have even talked about this because John has mentioned a few times how much respect he has for you. You know, this is a male-dominated industry. We don't see too many females in it, and you know, to see a woman kick down the door of any male-dominated industry, I give them even more respect because it's not easy. John, I think we would both agree that
absolutely
God did not trust us to carry or give birth or give life. So he knows the stronger and smarter sex is the woman. But I love the fact that a woman in any walk of life, in any career, can succeed in a male-dominated industry. So I really like your analysis, Dionne.
Thank you.
And I know that John and I, you know, it's amazing because I get to share a show with John, who is one of the best in the industry at breaking down games. The stuff he knows off the top of his head, I see guys half our age have two different tablets up there, and they still don't know. John's one of the best, but looking at the different angles you have on games really impresses me. No, it impresses John. I'd like to get John's take on the Mets Cardinals because I'm very interested to see how he's going to break this game down. Two great teams, two teams that should be seeing each other in the postseason. John, if you could.
Sure, thanks. These, as Dionne said, these two teams are very efficient offensive teams, and they're fundamentally sound. They play baseball almost the old school way of you get on base, you advance the runners, and you score runs. They don't leave a tremendous amount of runners on base compared to the Major League Baseball average. So in this pitching matchup, we are going to have, I think it's going to be a close game, but I agree with Dionne. I side with the St. Louis Cardinals here. And the Mets, I just have, make a long story short, guys, I just have doubts about the Mets. And it's no offense to the fans or New York fans, whatever. It's just I have some concerns with their hitting is not sustainable. I look at the Cardinals, and I see sustainability. And you know why I see sustainability? They only have one guy in that lineup, on that roster, that puts a bat in his hand that has an exit velocity average over 90. So a lot of people would say, well, gee, that means they must stink. They can't hit the ball. Well, you don't have to hit it like, the guys in New York in the Yankees team that are 118 miles an hour off exit velocity off the bat. All you need is line drives, and line drives that are hit well sometimes end up being home runs. If you're trying to hit home runs all the time, your batting average is going to be 215. If you're trying to get hits and take the ball opposite fields like the Cardinals do, and I just absolutely love how they approach batting because it's old school. It's the Charlie Lau days where you go with the pitch and you're not afraid to hit it into right center if you're a right-handed batter. It's not a sissy thing if you don't pull the heck out of the ball. So I've kind of fallen a little bit in love with this St. Louis Cardinals team because of those traditional ways of playing the game. And I also think they're the better team right now with this matchup against the Mets. So I agree with Dionne. I think St. Louis rolls in this game tonight.
Well, John, great analysis as usual, and thank you. Your angles are just, I do my due diligence every single day, and I'm pretty impressed on what goes on. But I always pick up an extra nugget of gold when I listen to whatever game you break down. So thank you, sports fans. One of the best technical guys in the business, and I'll chime in real quick. I'll tell you this. I think the Mets are a good team. But we saw last year a team with one of the better pitching staffs in baseball lose a lot of games. They lost 1-2, 3-2. Reminded me of Greg Maddux in the old days when he was on the Cubs. Poor guy. He had a low ERA but a horrible, horrible win-loss record until he went to the Braves and he started getting some bats behind him. This is not just the game of baseball is not just a great pitching or great hitting anymore. You've got to do both. And I agree with you, John. While I think the Mets are a good team, there's some talent there. You just can't bank on them any given day to hit the ball. And it's not like they they're good against bad pitchers. They're bad against good pitchers. They're inconsistent. When you're inconsistent, it tells me a lot about a team. We talked about this before. St. Louis Cardinals are the only team in the NL Central that's not either in a rebuilding year or in a situation where they have to get some newly acquired big names acclimated to the way they do things. This is a team that stood pat in the offseason. They kept their roster. I think there's a lot less pressure on this team to win, and that's why they do so well. And, John, I agree with you. They are a meat and potatoes type of baseball team. They hit the base hits. They move the runners along. They make few mistakes. They don't come down on themselves after a bad game. You see this team, they don't string together too many bad games in a row. And, a good friend of mine, John, made a good point about base hits. They don't have to the exit velocity, and they don't have to hit them over the fence. Guys, a good friend of mine, Pete Rose, didn't have a lot of home runs. Think you may remember him. Damn good baseball player. He counted on base hits, putting it where they ain't. And I'll tell you that. This St. Louis team is a very good team. They're a smart team. They've been together for a long time, and I like that about them as well, guys. I really do. They don't have too many egos on the team, or they don't have new guys that have to find their way on this team. They know each other. They know what to expect. They're a good team. Great minds think alike. I'm going to take the Cardinals here. No opinion on the total. Guys, we have another roundtable game before we go into our best bet segment. So the next game we're going to be talking about, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, the best and the worst of the NL West right now. Dionne, ladies first, if you would. Dodgers, Diamondbacks, please.
Sure. So currently the Diamondbacks, dwelling in the NL West cellar, have played the Mets 6 times this season. I bring up New York because they are currently a division leader. Well, they went just 2-4 against the NL East top team. Today, they get to face the NL West top team. Things are not going to get any better for Arizona. Los Angeles has taken 8 of the last 10 meetings, including 4 of the last 5 at Chase Field. As a matter of fact, going back a little further, the Dodgers have dominated the Diamondbacks, going 39-15 the last 54 meetings. There's no comparing Walker Buehler and Merrill Kelly. Buehler is considered one of the best in the game today, while Kelly, despite a 1-0 record and a 0.59 ERA this season, has a lifetime record of 24-27. In 7 starts against Los Angeles, he is 0-4 with an ERA of 4.58. While Buehler, in 11 starts against the Diamondbacks, is 4-0 with a 2.24 ERA. I can go on and on and on with stats, angles, and trends. It all says the same thing. Whether it be on the mound or at the plate, the Dodgers outclass the Diamondbacks. By the way, in those 8 wins over the last 10 meetings in this series, Los Angeles has won every single one by at least 2 or more runs. So go ahead and take the Dodgers on the run line.
Wow, the first lady of Vegas going and coming out bold there, Dionne.
I am.
Statement, Dodgers run line. I love it. I love the way you brought up a couple of things. And, I do put some stock in trends and streaks. I think of all the majors, of all the major sports, baseball is the one that above the others, that trends and streaks really do come into play. By the way, are you wearing my hat?
I am.
Great. You can't see this, guys, but I'm wearing one of her skirts. So we're even.
It's an even trade.
She steals my clothes all the time, John. She steals my clothes all the time. So I'm walking right now. I'm wearing one of her skirts. I just wanted you to know that, so you just can see it. Dionne, very nice breakdown. I do like your angles on it. I do like the trends and the streaks. Let's go to John Ryan. I know he's got a lot to say about the Dodgers. We talk about the Dodgers regularly on this show. John, if you can take it away, please.
Sure. There's really not much to add that Dionne didn't already say in this matchup. The Dodgers are head and shoulders better than the Arizona Diamondbacks. But it's a little caution that, not all the bad teams lose all the time. And every once in a while you get a game like this that really looks like the Dodgers are going to win 10-1 or even 10-0. But the one thing that bothers me from being really bullish on the Dodgers is the line. And you look at Walker Buehler, everything that Dionne said, I agree 1,000% with. But why is the line why is it minus 300? Why is it plus 180? And it just makes me, scratch my head a little bit and think wow, I don't have this game line like that. I have a game lined at about minus 250. But I do think, again, based on what Dionne said with this matchup, the Dodgers have bats. And when they get rolling, they're very streaky. One hit leads to another hit, leads to another hit. And Arizona just does not have the pitching staff to hold up to that. Their bullpen has started out much, much better than in previous years, but that could all fall apart. With all due respect to Arizona fans, that could fall apart any second, especially when you're going up against the number one team in Major League Baseball, and that's based on so many different metrics I could mention right now. It would be a 2-hour show. But really, the Dodgers have distanced themselves from the number 2 team, which I'm not trying to brown nose here, Joe, but it is the Yankees. I have them, they're ranked number 2 in my power ratings, but there's a big gap right now between the Yankees and the Dodgers. So I don't think any way in the world you could go out and put your hard-earned money on Arizona at plus 180. It's just giving me a little pause to think, well, maybe I do play Dodgers run line, or maybe actually my favorite in-game strategy this year, in a game where you have a big favorite like this, hope that Arizona scores first. I mean, the final result, we all agree, is going to be the Dodgers winning. So if Arizona scores first, guess what? You'll be able to get the money line at maybe minus 135, minus 140. Even if it's minus 150, it's better than paying minus 190 now. So that would be my recommendation here. Look for Arizona to score first in this game, and then hammer the Dodgers.
Guys, great angle there, John. So I tried just something. John's pretty big with this in-game stuff. I am a more meat and potatoes guy. I like to bet a game, go to sleep, see what if I want it the next day. John is a lot more involved while the game is going on, and I respect that. He really dedicates a lot of time to that to make sure he brings you good winning information. That's a great analysis and a great angle, John. Thank you. I will tell you my take on this. You go Dodgers, you don't go the game, but I can't lay above $1.40. I might squeeze out $1.50 if I really, really love something, but I can't go above that. But so I would have to agree with Dionne to go on the run line. As far as the total goes, John, you're right. The Dodgers, they hit a ball. The next thing you know, they go 2 or 3 innings. They don't get a hit. Then all of a sudden, they get 6 or 7 hits in an inning. And, the next thing you know, they're up 4 runs. So as far as the total goes, I'm not going to touch it. But I do have a lean. If I have to play this game, I'll take Dodgers run line. I love it. Guys, don't go anywhere, sports fans. The most exciting part of the show, our best bet segment. Dionne is going to go first. She has a best bet for everybody. Dionne, can you do us a favor, though, before you give your best bet? Can you tell everybody maybe what you're excited about over at Sports Memo tonight or the next few days, please?
I sure can. Well, I am 3-1 my last 4 NBA releases, and today we're going to go ahead and take it up a notch with my $9 NBA Monday Moneymaker right now over at Sports Memo. Get on this big winner and start your week off with some money in your pocket. And for my best bet, I am sticking with one of the roundtable games. As I mentioned earlier, when the Red Sox leave Fenway, they find new and improved ways to lose. Playing one of the AL's best teams on the road in Rogers Center is tough enough for any visitor, but the Blue Jays are just playing some great baseball. To compete against this team, you've got to produce at the plate, and Boston just is not. I think the price here brings us enormous value with Toronto. Lay it.
There you go, sports fans, the first lady of Vegas. Sticking with the Blue Jays.
I am.
So, babe, excuse me, I can't call you babe on the air. So, babe, great analysis, great breakdown. You kept it short and sweet, just like your husband. I like it. It makes a lot of sense to me. The price is right too.
It is.
This should be a minimum of $1.45 or more. So at this price, it's like a bargain. It's like getting 2 for 1. Great breakdown. And guys, go over to Sports Memo. Take advantage of Dionne's big game winners tonight. It is $9 Monday. We're gonna go now to the handsome and dapper and the very technical Mr. John Ryan, who has the best bet for us, guys. He's first going to tell you. I know he's been his streaks in multiple sports just off the charts. He's going to tell you a little bit about what he's been doing, what he's got going on, going to his best bet. John, take it away, handsome.
Thanks, Joe and Dionne. We have suffered a loss over the weekend. It happens, and I've been running hot. Very grateful for that. But we did lose a 5%er on Golden State yesterday. That was kind of a heartbreaker, but really Golden State wasn't in the game. It wasn't one of my better handicaps during this streak. But now we're 7-1 against the spread in those 5% max bets. And we are 68.4% over the last 63 NBA plays. I have a 4%er going tonight, which is the equivalent of a 4-unit bet. Their percentage in unit are mean the same with my work. And now I also have Major League Baseball up, coming off a blunder Sunday where I went 0-2, guys. I did 0-2, and the Phillies game, I had the over in the Phillies game. How can you bet the over when the final score ends up being 1-0? That's just terrible, terrible day. But you know what? 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 pitch at a time, 1 shot at a time. That's how the best in the world do what they do, and that's what we try to do here at SportsMemo.com. So my pick is going to be the Texas Rangers, and everybody's going, what? Well, I'm telling you, this line at getting Texas at plus 110, plus 105. What is it telling you? It's telling you that we have a problem in Houston, and Houston is on paper a very good team, but right now they're not. They are just not a good team. And as my good buddy Steve Merrill, he and I do a financial show every week, you don't catch a falling knife, meaning when stock prices are crashing down, you don't think you're smarter than the market and stand in the way and try to buy stocks when they're going down, hard. And that's what Houston is right now. They are a stock. They're a very valuable stock in the long run, but right now they are going through a correction. And when you're batting 219, actually they're batting 210 now in the season. How does a lineup with those names bat 210? There's obviously a problem. They'll figure it out, but I don't think they're going to figure it out by tonight. And I do like Texas to win this game, and I wouldn't be afraid to add a little sprinkle on the run line with Texas.
There you go. Sports fans, John Ryan says take the Rangers on the run line. And, John, I like your transparency about dropping a game here or there because overall you're a winner and you have been doing well. But one game, trust me, man, it's not like you outread something or you didn't read into something enough. I myself dropped a game yesterday after winning a bunch. I'll tell everybody about it in a minute. But it happens in this business. But I respect your integrity and your honesty telling people about it. Sports fans, John he lost a game yesterday. It happens. But I want you to know the time to jump on somebody is after they drop a game. Don't wait for them to get back hot and go, wow, I should have got that hot streak a few days ago. Jump on John Ryan tonight. It's $9 Monday. He's got a big 4-unit play. Now, sports fans, the pickings were kind of slim tonight. We covered 3 games for the roundtable. There were only 7 on the board. So coincidentally, I'm going to talk about this game as well, if I may, guys. I'm going to talk about the same game, but let me tell you about this first, guys. I have a 10% play tonight. After winning 6 straight NBA plays, I finally dropped the game yesterday. John, great minds think alike. I had the Warriors. I dropped that game too. But, guys, get ready to get paid again as I start another NBA hot streak today with my NBA slam dunk. They are 7-2 the last 9. Over the last 20 years, I'm documented. No other NBA release in the business has become as profitable or as popular as my slam dunk play. Numbers don't lie, folks. I've won 6 consecutive 10-unit releases at Sports Memo. Beyond this documented moneymaker, slam dunk the books and make your money. I also have one other play. I have my 13-3 NBA Las Vegas strip move play. Get both. Go 2-0. Start the week off right. I have both plays at Sports Memo available right now. $9 each. Now, John, I respect everything you said, and you made some great points, but I'm going to look at this a little differently on the Houston Astros. Sports fans, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but the month of April, the batting average overall in both leagues is the lowest it's been for the month of April in the history of this game. But overall, the batting averages are down. People are talking that maybe they did something to the ball again. I don't think that is. I think that just the first month of the season, people are getting acclimated. Pitchers got a little bit of a head start or a little edge over batters. And for my best bet, I'm going to step away from the roundtable games, talk about the Astros traveling to Globe Life Field, take on the Rangers. I know Houston's bats, they've been shaky. John mentioned it. And the Texas lineup is the only bright spot I feel on the team. They're pitching erratic. They're fielding erratic. Their bats have been live. I'll give them that. But the Astros have had their way with the Rangers, taking 5 of the last 7 in Texas, 8 of the last 10 overall. Going back a bit further, they are 40-19 the last 59 overall meetings. I agree with John on several points. Houston should be a higher favorite. Why aren't they higher favorite? Because the odds makers are saying they aren't as good as they will be down the road. They can't get their act together at this moment. To me, though, starting pitchers, there's no question in the comparison. Framber Valdez is a better pitcher than Dane Dunning. As a matter of fact, there's a big edge here for the Astros, as the Rangers are just 17-35 the last 52 versus left-handed starters. To add insult to injury, they're 19-43 the last 62 during game one of a series, 1-6 the last 7 at home, 5-11 the last 16 overall. I'm going to take the Astros around $1.40. If this was higher, I would think differently. Now, I respect everything John said, and I think he's made some great points. I'm going a little differently. I thought the pickings were a little slim tonight. We only had a few other games to choose from. Just so happens John and I are on the same game, opposite sides, but that's what we want you to get here on the Full Count Show. This isn't going to be a cookie cutout of the host. John hosts. He doesn't want people that talk just like John. I host. I don't want people to see the same things I want. We want you to get a taste of everything. We really do. And to be honest with you, if you don't love what I have to say, that's fine. Then you'll love what John has to say. You don't love what John has to say, you'll love what Dan has to say. But that's what you get when you deal with Sports Memo. You get a combination of the best cappers, the most integrity, the most successful. Numbers don't lie, guys. And I want you to know, nowhere else on this planet will you get the customer appreciation that you get at Sports Memo. Today's $9 Monday. Tomorrow's $2 Tuesday. By the way, Dionne, who's the trio for $2 Tuesday tomorrow?
Tomorrow's $2 trio is going to be myself, Kevin Thomas, and the Gold Shape. And
let me tell you guys, that is a trio not unlike, I haven't seen a trio like that in sports betting. And I'm going to tell you, you go over there tomorrow, you get all 3 big winners, $2 a piece, or all 3 for $5. That pays for itself literally in the first game. You've got to do it. You can get arrested for stealing when you take advantage of that $2 discount. Before we sign off, I'd like for everybody to be sure to tune in every day to this show, the Full Count Show, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, the Sports Memo MLB betting coverage show. We're going to come to you live. So we got special guests every day. Dionne, before we take off, can you have any parting words for everybody?
Well, you can definitely think that the three of us think the same. Great minds do think alike, because I dropped the game last night like you guys did. And unfortunately, I was not happy about it either. But today we're going to come back with a big old win today. Put some money in your pocket to start off the week.
So great minds think alike, and I want you to know there's nothing wrong with dropping a game. None of us like dropping a game, but it's part of the business. And here at Sports Memo, you get the integrity and the transparency that we admit it. We don't just admit it because there's fewer and far losses than wins. It's because they put together a great bunch of cappers. And we know what it's like to lose a game. We want to be honest about it. John, do you have any closing thoughts or comments?
No, just everybody get over to Sports Memo and get your subscriptions. Don't just get the 5%er. Like with Joe, for example, he has a big 10%er going tonight, which is a huge play, but it is just one play. You can save yourself a ton of money. Get 90 days, get 30 days, and you'll be glad you did. Trust me on that. You will be glad you did.
Thank you, John. Well, guys, we're gonna get ready to sign off. On behalf of the First Lady of Las Vegas, Dionne D'Amico, the hardest working man in sports betting, John Ryan, and myself, Joe D'Amico, good luck and have a winning day.
Awesome.